there is one thing that you absolutely have to know if you're gonna come hike this. And before I go into details, I wanna talk a little bit about why welcome back to the channel, guys. Idyllwild, love it, love it, love it. Can't wait to go back. Drove up early to do this hike. Idyllwild is so freaking beautiful. So before I jump into trail details, all the good stuff, there is one thing that you absolutely have to know if you're gonna come hike this, and that is you have to pick up a little permit or whatever this is. It's a day use permit. I will show you guys this when I talk about how to get there, but you'll want to go to the ranger station. It's 2 minutes away from the trailhead. You'll pick up a copy of this, you'll fill it out, your car, how many people on your party. You rip off the white front cover, put that at the ranger station, and then you put this in your backpack and you're all set to go. With that said, let's jump into those trail details. Suicide Rock via Deer Springs Trail is a 6.7 mile heavily trafficked out and back trail. That is not correct. And as you read this, you'll see a lot of reviews, people saying over 8 miles, around 8 miles. We clocked it in at 7.4. And we did a little bit of roaming around at the top. Definitely around the 7, a little above the 7 mile. I clocked that in with the Garmin, so I feel really good about the GPS on that. Shouldn't make much of a difference if you're gonna go do this anyway, but just be aware, it's a little bit over 7 miles. Located near Idyllwild Pine Cove that features beautiful wildflowers and is rated as moderate. Moderate, yes, the first 2 miles of this hike are difficult because they're uphill nonstop. Definitely not harder than like a Hot Springs Mountain, anything like that. It is elevation, but I didn't think it was too bad. The moderate portion of this is the first 2 miles with the elevation. that is really what kind of gets you tired. The trail is primarily used for hiking, running, nature trips, bird watching, and is accessible year-round. Elevation gain 1,800 feet, that is correct, and the route type is an out and back. This trail is good for kids if they can handle the elevation, honestly, if they can handle the incline. There's a lot of information here about, if you're parking in a certain area, you'll pay the $10. Lots of different kind of trails you can take and break off into. And again, you'll notice a lot of people saying it was a shaded hike, we started early, which is all true, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. All right, how to get here. So you'll want to Google map the Deer Springs trailhead. It's really just off the road. You'll see a sign, and if you go even after sunrise, you'll already see a packed little dirt lot with just cars everywhere. There's a few different lots around the area where it's just dirt and you can kind of park there and then walk to the trailhead. But just be aware it's really off just a dirt lot next to the road. Now, again, 2 minutes away, you'll go to the San Jacinto Ranger Station and you will get your day use permit and you put in your backpack and you're all set to go. So it's really, really close. You can just get that figured out very quickly. Now the trail itself, and before I go into details, I want to talk a little bit about why you can't bring your dogs on this trail. Here's the deal, guys. If you watched my, first time in Idyllwild or checking out Idyllwild video, you'll know that I went and I spoke to the ranger here at Idyllwild Park, and they told me about just the mess that this area is, about who owns specific parts of the land and whatnot. So the reason why, if you go to all trails, you'll see here it says no dogs, is because a portion of this hike, really after mile 2, you're in the state park, and state parks do not allow dogs. The first mile of this hike, you technically can bring your dog. The last portion of this hike, you technically can bring your dog. But the middle portion of this hike, you cannot bring your dog because it is the San Jacinto State Park, not just the San Jacinto Wilderness. It makes a big difference. You can take the risk if you want. We saw a couple dogs on the trail, but just know, if a ranger comes by and he's having a bad day, you could be fined. So, up to you. And please pick up after your pets. It was so nice to be on this hike and we saw like no trash. It was just amazing. So please do your part. Help keep it that way. All right, as I mentioned, and as you'll read in some of the reviews, really the first 2 miles are just non-stop uphill. It really does not flatten out. Now, it isn't like a crazy incline, it's just consistent, so it's really a stamina game. After that, you'll notice you'll start some incline, but it's really a lot more gradual all the way to the top. Now, what I will tell you is there's a lot of places near the top that you can stop by and look, but really, really try, if you can, to download the map. Follow this point here because you'll find the best views that we saw while we explored around Suicide Rock was really at the end of this trail. The trail itself, really just a forest hike. It's beautiful the whole time, in my opinion. Not much really to talk about in terms of what to expect. You'll see some of the signs as you saw in the video. You'll see a couple different streams at some points. Just overall beautiful, definitely has the right amount of challenge to it. And make sure you get up to Suicide Rock because it has absolutely gorgeous views. I will leave that here. If you have any questions, comments, make sure you drop them down below. And stay tuned. I will see you next week.